Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Now we're ready.
Yeah.
Action.
Hi, I'm RuMi.
And I'm RuMi.
And we are RuMi, and we are part of the My Sexuality is Not a Phase project.
Yeah. I guess sexuality is complicated. Like, everyone is still trying to understand what it's about, how it, like, your sexuality is so complicated.
In a way, we're saying that, you know, our sexualities are not a joke. They're not something you can easily change. But at the same time, I feel like it doesn't really resonate with me, because for me, I'm a human being and I change all the time. And I don't think any part of me is static. You know, even when I was straight, that was a phase in my life.
True.
And now as I'm a queer person, and it's still a valid phase, but now as a queer person, this is the phase I'm in. But in the same sense, I'm not saying like it's something you can easily change or that I will revert to being straight. I don't know what I will be, and I don't want to be put in a box because of it. So,
yeah, I guess when I heard it, when I think of phases, I think of the moon. You know, how the moon goes through different phases, but it doesn't stop being the moon. You know, so I am what I am, and whatever phase in life I'm portraying, like whatever image I'm portraying, it's still me, and I'm still a whole person, even though you're only seeing bits and pieces of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So more like a spectrum?
Yeah,
It's more like a spectrum of being.
Yeah.
So is coming out necessary? I don't think you owe anyone an explanation, really. I don't find coming out to be like a necessary part in your journey. I think if it is important to you, people want to be understood, right? So I say coming out as you're just trying to show people like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm more comfortable in my skin now. This is who I am. I want to show you who I am, you know, and I'm coming out in a sense. So coming out to people, I don't find it to be necessary, but coming out to yourself is something I would deem necessary, because for a long time when I was straight passing or in my straight phase, I denied a lot of parts of myself. You know, I was very hidden, like I was in the closet from myself. And I had to do this coming out process of coming out to myself to be like, okay, this is who you are, and it's okay, you're fine, I love you, you know. So I think coming out to myself is very, very important, whereas coming out to other people, it's not really their business what I like to put in my mouth. So I don't see they'll need to know. They'll need to know. I'm just saying.
I personally don't believe in like coming out, like, you know, it being like a huge spectacle. Like, just personally, I am not going to come out. I'm just going to be. I don't owe anyone an explanation. I'm not going to give my parents an explanation. I'm just going to live my life, and if they have questions, I will answer them. But it's not going to be like a spectacle, like I'm queer and this is my life, and you know, that's just how I am going about it. Yeah.
Okay, so when I came out to my parents, it was not easy. First of all, I didn't have, it wasn't of my own accord. You know, I was really just pushed out of the closet. So I already didn't have like control of the situation. It's not like I was in a safe space and I was confident in having the conversation. So I felt really attacked in the moment, really. So coming out from that, after they knew my sexuality and, you know, the person I was, I really was just going to be okay with never talking to them again, because I kind of understood that's kind of the relationship that we were going to have, is that they want nothing to do with me. But this one was like, no, they're your parents, you know, just, you know, try and connect. And it's been interesting, because when I was now honest as a person, I was like, okay, you can't control me. Like, I'm your child, yes, but I'm an entire human being, and I do what's right for me. I was able to have more honest conversation with my parents. Like, they became people. We started speaking at the same level, you know. It was like mutual respect. Like when I said something, I'll be heard, and then they would open up to me also about what they're going through, and it's changed the dynamic of our relationship, where I'm actually being honest with them for the first time in my life. And as much as I preach that your sexuality is not who you are in entirety, right? If you're not free to express all of yourself, you end up hiding more than you know. You just need to be able to flow freely in who you are. And getting emotional, I hate the story. But I'm learning to make peace with it. Yeah, but it has helped me be able to talk to my parents more honestly, and I do appreciate the after effects, but the during, I can't go through it again. No. They really are able to look at me as a person, because I mean, our parents mean well most of the time. They're doing what they think is right, what will set you up well in life. And heteronormativity is a safe space to be in life. So they're training you to be the ideal wife or the ideal husband, or just the ideal partner to the other gender or sex. So it's me coming out and being like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to wear makeup and wear weaves and be this idea of femininity that you have, including not having sexual relations with males. They were able to really deconstruct their ideology of what they thought their child was. And they really were like, okay, who is this person? They were actually curious for once to actually hear me out and be like, okay, so who are you? Instead of telling me who I am, to be like, you're my child, this is how you behave, these are the rules of this house. It now became, who are you, what are you doing? And that part was amazing.
I guess I think what's unique about this relationship to me is that I never get tired of this person.
Bruh.
Like, we spent 23/7.
Where's the other?
I don't know, bathroom. I guess.
Okay.
We spend so much time together, and we are a safe space for each other. Like, we can still be apart and have separate lives, but like still be the same space. And it's just so comforting, and I've never really experienced that before. I can tell her anything. Like, we go through every single thing together, and it's difficult, it's tough, it's hard, it hurts, but it hurts. But at the end of the day, I know that she's in my corner, and I trust her with my life, and that's very unique for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like I don't have to be anything, because I guess I can just be myself around you, and you're just so accepting. Even when I'm being weird, I feel free enough to be weird around you because it's okay. So definitely a safe space. I guess people would be like, you guys are clingy. Like, we've gotten that before. Like, you guys are so clingy. You're always together. We even match. We sometimes switch socks. Like, she'll be wearing my blue sock, I'm wearing the red sock, and we're just mix and matching, and we love it. we love being so clingy and so attached. Not into the sense where it's toxic and it's like codependency and I feel suffocated. I never feel suffocated. I wake up, like, I dream of you, right? And then I wake up and I see you and I'm excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you. And then we have to have a day together. Then we go to sleep together. It's amazing. I love you, man.
I experience love when I'm thinking, right? I'm just sitting on the couch, like, ordinary day, thinking, and then I think, and then she looks at me like, and she knows exactly what I need at that very moment. And I'm like, bro, how do you do that, bro? So that's when I experience like the most love, because I know she's just paying so much attention to me and already knows like what I need before I even know it. She'll be like, oh, you made that face. I'm like, what face did I make? She's like, you make that face you make when you're hungry. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. So yeah.
The hungry face.
It's very specific. I experience love when you're around.
Oh.
Okay. Nah, it's a thing. Like, I never feel like you're gonna leave, so, and I really just understand the privilege that is being around you. Just having you around in my space is just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because you can just go, and when you choose me every day, at every second you're just like, I'm here. I'm right here with you, and that's when I experience love, is when you're around. That's so cheesy. That's a big one. Oof. That's a big one. I guess when in the whole coming out process and expressing yourself, because clothing and mannerisms is just how you express yourself, there was a lot of pressure to present a particular way so that I appeared queer enough. You know, I felt I needed to tick certain boxes to be taken seriously as a queer. I don't know, like the queer look, you know. So I had the phase of wearing the rainbow shirts, the gay and proud shirts, and just being, you know, excessively.
That was a phase.
That was a phase. That was deep, eh? Yeah, and when I would be in relationships with straight women, because lesbian culture, they had a lot of ideas of what it meant to be in a relationship, you know. And even when I was a queer woman, sometimes I remember this one girl, she was like, you can't dress masculine because it'll clash with my style, because she was very much a stud and I am a stem. So when I would dress in my stud vibe, she'll be like, no, you're clashing with my style, you know, it's not supposed to be like that, you're supposed to be like this, like this, like this. So the heteronormative ideologies were not just imposed on me by straight women, it was also queer women that were having these ideas of how I should present myself in order to fit the queer mold, the idea of what a queer me should look like. So it was very hard to break out of that mold. I'm still trying to break out of that mold. Yeah, so we're working on it.
Can I hear the question again?
Did I confuse you?
No, just big words.
Hey, shy.
It's a whore. What heteronormative pressures has society placed on you due to how you present yourself?
The pressures that heteronormativity has placed on me is the idea that I have to be something specific. Like I'm very queer. Like I'm somewhere on the spectrum, but I don't know where. And this idea that I have to put a name to it is really frustrating sometimes, because sometimes I'm very masculine presenting, and sometimes I'm very femme presenting, and sometimes people take that to correlate with my sexuality, when it really, for me, they're two different things. Yeah, so they're not the same thing to me. So that idea that I have to be like bisexual or lesbian or pansexual, I just can't pick a box, and I don't want to. So that's the one thing that has been imposed on
Labels.
Yeah, labels. There you go.
The toxic traits.
It was toxic.
Should we pick one within each other and then maybe?
You can do that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, so I guess it would be, I mean, it's gotten better, but your anger. You're a very angry person.
Really?
You're okay. You need to, your anger, and what else? What else is toxic about you?
But how has it gotten better? Or how has it added to the, like, is it, I think, like...
Oh, and your selfishness. You're very selfish.
Okay.
I think that's you're very selfish. Yeah. What's my toxic trait?
You're very selfless.
Yeah.
It works. Somehow it works here.
Yeah.
I think because when we talk about like your past relationships, you always tell me that people used to take advantage of your selflessness. Like they would really take you far, and they would make you do things that would force you to betray yourself. And I think when you got into this relationship, it was cute in the beginning. You'd be like, oh, I want to do this for you, I want to do that for you, and I was like, okay, that's great, I'm enjoying it. But what about yourself?
Yeah.
You need to look after yourself, because I'm selfish. I'm like, you have to take care of yourself. And I think when we got together, we sort of like taught each other like to do things. Yeah, we're like, okay, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and then we sort of like came together, and it became better.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I did used to sacrifice all of myself for people. Like I always thought of myself last, and I just empty myself in relationships. And I feel with you, I never run out. Like it's just you just replenish me. We're just replenishing each other. It's just you're my recharge button, you know, like you're the plug, right? The plug, the whole circuit.
Yo, it's called.
Okay, share to the books. It's cool.
No, shady.
The one problem, not problem, but the one thing we keep, the one problem we keep running into is that we try to deal with things on our own.
True.
Like, and from our past, we've come to understand that things go better when we work together and not exclude each other. Like, if I'm having a problem, I need to share that with you, and we need to work through it together. Like, it's not a solo mission. I'm not having this relationship by myself.
True.
So,
and that whole thing, like, if you're going through something, it will affect me in one way or another. So it's better that we just deal with it together. It is something that, like, we know this. Every time we go through something and we go through it separately, it's really hard. Then in the end, we come together and it's resolved like this. It's like, why don't we just do this from the beginning? Let's just work through things together. And we never learn this lesson. Yeah, hey. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Do you wanna go first?
Is it off limits?
I don't know. What thing's off limits? Which one? I feel like. Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm not sure. The one hurt I wish I could have taken away from your past relationships is you feeling alone. I think there was that one year where life was really difficult. Okay, obviously now it's a joke because we've gone through so much more. But back in the day, it was really serious. Like you're going through something really, really serious, and that's when the person you really entrusted with your heart left you alone, and you know, you were like sleeping on the floor crying, and this guy was comfortable in your bed. Like, that every time I think about that, I get angry. I get so mad. How could someone just do that to you? You're so amazing and you're so sweet. So that is the one pain I wish. I wish you didn't have to go through that moment alone. I really wish I could have been there and just held you and fed you and just done everything I could to just make you feel that you're not broken, you're not tarnished, you're a complete human being that's so deserving of love and appreciation. Like there's nothing wrong with you, and I love you. That's what you should have heard. Yeah, that's what I wish I could take away. Do you want a tissue?
Okay.
Good? Thank you. Good.
Can't beat that. The one pain I wish I could just remove from Jay. From Jay. Is your childhood. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Yeah.
I think your childhood was just difficult. Can I say this?
Which part?
Nothing specific.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of your mother and how she raised you, and I wish that you had someone to depend on, and that not everything fell onto you, and that you had to take care of everyone. I really wish there was someone who would have listened to you and also just taken care of you, you know, for once, and told you how precious and beautiful, specifically beautiful, you are, and just taken care of you. Like I wish I could just have been there for little Kiki and just, you know, held her and just told her that it's gonna be fine and that she is perfect the way she is, and that it is okay to rely on others. It is okay to be what's that word?
Dependent on other
Not dependent. To be vulnerable. To trust people with your feelings. Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Deep. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
turn on the fan.
We're good.
Okay.
I guess for me, love is freedom. Because when you love something, you just want to like obsess in it and just discover it and just be free to just learn about it, you know. So it really is freedom of expression, of just feeling like you can always access this thing, feeling like it's there for your pleasure, for you to draw strength from. Yeah, love for me it's really freeing. This is something I learned in this relationship, that love is very freeing. Before I'd have said love is about service, you know, being able to serve someone and not feel depleted. And I still feel like that's relevant. But now I'm free to serve. It's not a duty. There's no duties in love, you know, it's just expression. It's just freedom to be as you are for me.
I think love to me is whatever is important to you. I think one of the things that I learned from my past relationships and this relationship is that we all think of love differently. What I thought was a love, others thought was suffocation, others thought was nagging. And for me, love is patience and understanding and listening to one another. Those are the things that matter to me, that I never feel lonely. Like I can be alone but never feel lonely, like I'm dealing with things on my own. And that's what love is to me right now. Yeah. I think to parents with, you know, queer or, you know, not normal children, I think what your children need is not necessarily acceptance but understanding. I think that's like the first step to knowing and discovering your child.
I guess the advice that I have to parents of queer bodies is that change is the only constant in life, you know, like evolution is necessary, change needs to happen, and just embracing your children as people, not just carbon copies of whatever you fantasized your life was going to turn out to be, because like we make plans and God loves, you know, but that doesn't mean it has to be misery and like pain. You're only putting yourself through unnecessary pain by holding on to something that's not there, instead of actually experiencing this unique, amazing person that's developing in front of your eyes, you know. Like life is an experience, you know. You can never know what's gonna happen next, and it's such an honor if your child can really come to you and be like, this is who I am. Like, I think that's one way you can know. Granted, I'm not a parent, but I would feel successful knowing that my child can come to me and tell me something, you know, because I hid from my parents a lot. So if your child can really come to you and be like, this is who I am, that's such an honor, that they feel this is a safe space, that there's love here, and that they can come to you. So don't ruin that by imposing, you know, your ideas of what you think life should be for your child. And for kids of
It's my turn.
I better haven't finished.
So my advice to queer people is that I'm doing queer people. I'm doing queer people. Is that you should protect your peace. Like, I know it's difficult to do when you're queer and you're still a child and you rely on your parents and you really don't have a say in what happens to you. But I want you to know that at some point, I'm not saying it gets better, but you get better. Don't what am I trying to say? Don't let the notion of blood relations rule your life. Like, family is who you choose and who supports you. It is not a matter of like, okay, I'm related to Ningi Ningi, and whether they reject you or support you, that makes your entire life. Protect your peace. All relationships are should be built on mutual respect and love. And if that means you need to leave your blood related family to find, you know, peace, you can do that, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wise words. Follow us on YouTube. Just plug our channel there. But yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank
Please like and subscribe to
Yeah.
this channel.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard work. Gashisa. You know, it's work. Thank you.
And plug your channel.
Oh, and our channel, please follow us on subscribers. It's not. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Love RuMi. Thank you.